Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth Scenes and Scents. Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I am Liz Quinn, your star Scentsy consultant. So today what I have for you are the warm reviews of the 10 new releases from the 2025 Spring Summer catalog with Scentsy. And I'm really happy with all of these scents. There is not a single one here that I will not look forward to warming in the future. There are some that I liked better than others, and there are a couple that had some rather strange performance profiles, very different than what I thought. But I think that we will have a really nice chat about all of these, so let's just dive right on in. So I guess that I will start on the farther end of things that I liked, but they were not my absolute favorites, and we'll work forward to the ones that I think were just the tip-top best of the bunch. Not a single one of these did I feel struggled with performance to a degree where I wouldn't recommend it. Some were stronger than others. So let's start with what I felt was the softest of the whole group. This is called Ocean Shimmer. And Scentsy says that Ocean Shimmer is Capri Lemon, sparkles like sunshine alongside blue musk and a splash of sea spray. And I used my brand new little new season sales kit Fleur de Lis warmer to deal with this, as well as another really tried and true older inlaid tile mosaic warmer. They're both things that I have in my Florida room right now. So that was the space in which I tried this scent. It's very refreshing. It's very soft. It's definitely a sea spray and musk type scent. It has a really nice profile if you want something just sort of soft and aquatic and sort of whispery. I wouldn't say it's weak, but it's just not the sort of thing that's going to hit you in the face like a blast of Arctic air or anything. And then there's that Capri Lemon, which just gives it a little bit of a citrusy bite, not very much. It's very refreshing, it's very gentle, it's very nice. On a sweltering summer day, this would probably be the perfect thing to not feel overwhelmed or choked out by anything. Now, the next one that's sort of at the bottom of my list, but again, I would repurchase this, is going to be the Wild for Wildflowers bar. This is a happy scent. Scentsy says that it's bright yuzu, juicy tangerine, sweet lychee, and wildflowers. And in the clam, you really do not get any of the floral. So wildflowers, that's a rather vague description, and the throw on this was good. I wouldn't say it was as much of a boomer as I thought perhaps from the clam that it would be. And it did start out sort of a nice mix of citrus and floral. Again, this wildflowers thing is kind of vague, but it's there. And the lychee is definitely present. There's just sort of a extra fruity sweetness. It's a very nice bar. Is it something where I'm going to need 6 or 7 because it's very distinctive? No. So both the Capri Lemon and the musk in that Ocean Shimmer and the wildflowers in here, not super assertive, but happy. Those are both bars that when I just want a day that's sort of low-key and not stressful, I would reach for another one of those for sure. Now the next one shocked me as far as performance. This Pearlescent Coast is much stronger on warm, at least for me, than I had anticipated. So Scentsy says this is Lotus Blossom, Bamboo, and Apricot Musk, and it must be the bamboo, because that's a pretty strong note. Now, as far as bamboo goes, I like bamboo yuzu, and I really have enjoyed, Yuzu Dragon, which I don't think had any bamboo in it, that had yuzu. Things where there's a sweetness along with the astringency from the bamboo. I don't mind the bamboo and rainfall that's in the current catalog, but that's quite strong. You don't need very much of it. This one tames that bamboo note so that it's nice. So I love Lotus and the Apricot Musk. I'm not exactly sure how to tell you what scents I'm smelling when. It's a pretty homogeneous, pretty well-blended scent. But it was much more of a boomer than I thought. So this is very nice if you want something that's sort of sweet, almost beachy and aquatic, but it's also a little bit floral. It was very good. So that would be probably 2 or 3 bars I would repurchase of that. Now, we're going to go to the bar where I love it and I hate it. And if you really want to laugh, I do watch a lot of other consultants, and Patricia Gates has like a whole story time about this bar. If you want to go watch that, that was quite funny. Barefoot Beach. Now, I told you on Cold Sniff I thought this would be my favorite. This bar is so strong. It really caught me off guard. So I think I need to warm it in a different space, in a different season, and I will probably love it. But I do kind of second, even though Patricia took a long time to tell a whole story about her experience with its warming pattern, I'll try to make it shorter. I agree with her synopsis. Barefoot Beach is supposed to be coconut, macadamia, and island driftwood. And it's a lot of driftwood. And it's a lot of a combination of notes, which to me really smells like amber. And I thought I was losing my mind until I was watching Patricia's review. And she put it the way that only Patricia could. That was great. If you are watching Patricia, A+, bravo, you need to be on the stage somewhere. That was hilarious. But the coconut and the macadamia, they are in the cold sniff, but I don't really get them all that much on warm. What I get on warm is a very dominating amber and driftwood, or maybe even some other beachy, woody, dry scent that I thought this was going to be a bedroom scent. Really, you smell this in the clam and you don't think it's going to steamroller everything. I put 2 cubes and 2 cubes and 2 different warmers in my bedroom, and I went in there and I about died. So I had to turn one of the warmers off, and I left this going for a good long time, like a day and a half. And I'm usually like a full day and I'm bored with something and I take it out. I try to leave them longer for reviews, but that doesn't always work. But this scent started with this strength where putting it in an open concept, just a couple cubes will do ya. It will just perfume the whole space. I think with windows open and the summertime and other tropical scents or other woody and beachy scents, it'd be fine. But in my bedroom, it about made my eyes water and it almost gave me a headache. And that doesn't happen to me with woody scents ever, though those are always fine. So I had to tone it down. I had to let it alone, kind of let it figure out how to have some manners in the room. And then eventually, it was just a really nice sort of ambery, woody scent. But it isn't what the notes are giving me. The coconut and the macadamia and island driftwood is usually a more gentle wood scent. This was a lot. So putting it in the right space, it's good. Just don't put a whole bunch of cubes in your bedroom and expect to survive the day. So I will definitely see what this does after it cures too, because those notes may balance much better over time. I don't know. I sure hope so. But this is a boomer performer. If you like ambery, woody bass notes, which is pretty much all that came out after this about choked you to death in the beginning. So that was not the experience I was expecting with that scent. I will buy a couple bars, use it in my more open space in the summer with things to balance it, like sun castles, or what else would I put with that? I could put a really strong, maybe even a really strong floral. Like I do still have a couple of gardenia and other type scents that might kind of check that a little bit with all its woody goodness going on there. It was an interesting bar. Okay, let's move on to Freshwater Sage. Now this I expected to be strong, and it was. So you are definitely not losing bang for your buck with Barefoot Beach or this one when it comes to performance. Oh, this is so good. You just don't need very much. So I expected this one to be a boomer, put 2 cubes into my Heart is Home warmer, I think that's what it's called, in my bedroom. It's the charitable cause from last year with the beautiful hearts on it. And this went for 3 days beautifully in my room. This would be a fantastic open concept scent. It was definitely strong for a bedroom, but I was prepared for it. Citrus zest, bergamot tea leaves, and marine musk. Oh, yes, it's so good. Oh, this is so good. But it is something where I think you need to be in the mood for it. This and the Barefoot Beach and the next one I'm going to tell you about, these are mood melts. This is not something that you're just going to have going in your home all the time. I happen to absolutely love Earl Grey tea, so the bergamot tea leaves in here just speak to me. It's fresh. It's somewhat clean, but the tea gives it some earthiness, and so does the marine musk. It's not like too clean. Really, really good scent. It is very different than Blue Sage and Tonka, but it has somewhat that same level of complexity. They're not twins. I don't even know if you want to call them, distant cousins, but there aren't that many smells that we've had with Scentsy where you marry different things and it gives you this greater than the sum of its parts kind of a smell. I feel like this one is just that. It's so, so nice. Oh, so good. Cannot wait to warm more of that. The next one, which was very interesting, is Desert Twilight. Now, with a couple of these bars, as I'm coming up to my favorites here, I've grabbed a couple other things for reference. I wish that I knew where the little bit of amber road is that I've got somewhere in the house. I'm not sure. I know I melted a little bit about a month ago, and I may only have a couple cubes left in another clam that is who knows where. But I wanted to have something as a foil to kind of tell you something else that you could sort of compare it to. Now, there was a clay note in pink coconut a couple years ago and a salt note and some other things. I hated that bar. A lot of people loved it. I hated that bar. There was something about that earthy clay that I found so dirty and just disgusting. But the clay that's in Desert Twilight doesn't do that to me. And it has some similarity to the softness and the earthy sweet complexity of this one from the Star Wars collection, the Sunset, the Tatooine, or however you say it, which I can't say it right because I don't know Star Wars. This doesn't have as much perfume, but man, is this nice. This performed the way I thought Barefoot Beach was going to. Saguaro Blossom, Warm Clay, and Sandalwood. I love the sandalwood in this. It plays nicely with the clay. That little bit of saguaro blossom just lifts it a tad. Now, it is definitely an earthy scent. This is not something that is going to appeal to everyone. The freshwater sage that I just raved about, that is fresh with an earthy note. This is earthy with a sweet, warm note. It's very earthy, so just know that. It may offend some people. I will be ordering more of this for sure. I will order more of everybody. There's nothing here where I said, ooh, yuck, I can't stand this. It's just the expectations on what to do with Barefoot Beach. Totally different than what my brain and Cold Sniff said it was going to be. I cannot remember the last time that a bar was that rip-roaring strong and I couldn't tell on cold. That was hilarious. Okay, next one. Island Bloom. Very good performer, and this one reminded me a lot of Aloha Orchid, which I went fishing for. So if you like Aloha Orchid, I looked up the notes on this. This has more florals and coconut cream, but it's a typical quintessential summer pink Scentsy bar. I mean, it just is what it is. I love this scent. I have a good number of them in my collection. This is somewhat similar, but the notes are starfruit, watermelon, and island palm. And the island palm kind of gives you that creamy quality that the coconut cream does in the other bar, Aloha Citrus. But this has watermelon. It's very nice. It's a bit more refreshing. The Aloha Orchid might get a little heavy and sickeningly sweetly saturated for some people. Whereas this, the starfruit, when you were a kid, did you have the starfruit obsession? I loved them. I would have my mom go to the store. I can remember the little fruit and vegetable section in this place that we had as I was a kid. It was called VG's. And we would go. We would pick up the starfruit. It would have those nasty little brown lines on the outside. It was shaped like a star. She'd carefully shave them off and cut it into these beautiful little star-shaped sections. I was obsessed, and I would just eat it and eat it and eat it. So I get that sweet, sour, tart crispness from the starfruit here and the watermelon, and then the island palm creams it out a little. Very good performer. Very, very good bar. If you were offended by Aloha Orchid because it was too floral, try this one. If you like watermelon, because they're just enough different, I will probably be melting both of these on the same day in alternate spaces. Very, very good bar. Now, you guys are going to laugh because this next one, I did not expect to love this, and I do. The Sweet Pea and Freesia. And then there's another one here, which I said I couldn't even smell on cold. Part of it was probably my actual cold in my sinuses, which I'm so much better, and I can smell now. But this one, the next one, and then my absolute favorite, they did shock me as far as coming out on top. This Sweet Pea and Freesia, Sweet Pea, Colorful Freesia, and Rosewater, it's the most beautiful, feminine, lovely, sophisticated, slightly granny chic floral. And it makes me so happy. This is like a millennials version of Lilacs and Violets. It's so nice. It's just, I don't know. The grand millennial style where we've got the granny chic and we have the beautiful wallpaper and we have the fancy chairs, but we're laid back in our demeanor. That's this bar. Is so nice. And I'm very picky with my florals. Good performance, not too much. The rosewater is just enough. It's not headache inducing. It doesn't overpower the rest of the scent. Gorgeous. And I'm probably going to get a bar of Lilacs and Violets so that I can do alternate rooms or alternate warmers of that, because this one just, it will help elevate and modernize Lilacs and Violets, which is a standard, a very classic floral that thankfully we keep. I'm really sad that we kicked Lush Gardenia out of the catalog a few years ago. It's in my club, but we have not produced anything else that's classic, old-fashioned, old Hollywood like that bar. And I mourn it for those of you that loved your gardenia and you didn't club it before they pulled it. So next, this one is a complete shock that this is coming in at number 2 for me. Sweet Lime and Peach. I couldn't smell anything really out of this bar the day that I was doing cold sniffs. I put this in the warmer and I'm like, what is that? And this has gotten mixed reviews from other people. I understand that. But in my home, this thing sang. Fresh lime, garden mint, and peach blossom. I don't even know what to tell you how those 3 combine in such a beautiful way. Like, I've been bad and I haven't even saved any of this for samples. I liked it so much I just kept melting it. There is this beautiful balance of the lime, which is on the sweeter side. That little bit of mint, it's nothing like the fresh garden mint scent, which is what Mint Fields that did end up in this catalog. Nothing like that. It's light, it's sweet, and then the peach blossom just gives it that little bit of floral without being stinky. I loved this. Cannot wait to get more. I love Mojito Mambo, which is much heavier, but there is enough, not really similarity, but complementary as far as the notes between the two that I would do a couple bars with the sweet lime and peach to a little bit of Mojito Mambo somewhere in the spring around the house. Would be so good. I love that. And coming in at number 1, which is a bit of a shock because I knew it would be in my top 3 or 4, but I am probably the only reviewer who has fallen head over heels for Italian Sunshine. Oh, is this good? And the reason that it makes me so happy is because it is somewhat like Spring Forward, which is one of my all-time favorite spring scents. This Spring Forward was a scent of the month and has come back in BBMB a couple times. I don't know how many of these I have left, maybe 2 or 3. I was lucky to find this one in my stash downstairs. The thing about this is the Italian bergamot. That is in both of these scents. That is the strongest comparison. And then this one's got raspberry jam and cedarwood. And it is a quintessentially beautifully bright spring, gorgeous smell. If you've never smelled Spring Forward, you're going to be clueless as to what I'm singing the praises of. It's not a well-known bar, but it's one of my favorites, and I probably should have clubbed it. I just got a stack instead the last time it was around. But this one, Italian bergamot, sun-kissed coconut, sweet berries, and amber. It is slightly summerier, but that Italian bergamot is a very good link between the 2 bars. Oh, I love this. It throws well, is bright, it's happy. It really, and I'm not a world traveler type, it makes me want to travel. It makes me want to see the hillsides of Tuscany and the Amalfi Coast. And like I said, I'm not a traveler. This somehow speaks to my soul. Love it. Anyway, so as far as reordering, I've already said this in the video. I will get probably at least another bar or 2 of all of these. The Barefoot Beach, I really need to see where it is appropriate to melt this. Its strength and just the odd initial out of the gate 2 to 3 hour warm will shock you guys, unless it just needs time to settle, which some bars are like that. I have done warm reviews and first sniff impressions of bars that we get as consultants where maybe the oil ratios are off. This happened with Forever Fall. It's happened with other bars, and my friend Robin has struggled with this too from time to time. We tell you something about a bar, and then the next 2 or 3 shipments that we get of it, it seems as though something is very different and things rebalance. Either it's the cure time or something. So I will put a disclaimer on this that I'm going to get probably 2 more bars of that, at least 1 to begin with in one of my initial orders. And I want to compare them and see if there's any difference, if there's any weirdness in the pour, any difference in its cure time. But that bar was odd. Very good performer. The Desert Twilight I want another one of. The Freshwater Sage, I'm not going to go through it fast, but I'm going to want another one. But man, the Sweet Pea and Freesia, the Sweet Lime and Peach, and the Italian Sunshine, I can see myself melting through a lot of all 3 of those. So this is Elizabeth with Elizabeth Scenes and Scents. I'm very happy with this group of bars. It made me smile when I would come into the room with most of them, and it was just a good and fun experience reviewing these for you guys. So I hope that you get on March 1st. My website, as you already know, is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us. And I want to thank all of you that have been doing your clubs and things as the current season is winding down. So the last day for anything fall winter is going to be the last day of February, which is what, the 28th? I haven't even looked at the calendar. And I'm just so blessed to be in the Scentsy community with all of you. I'm very much enjoying getting your packets ready and things for those that have purchased recently, have clubs, have been maybe longtime customers of mine. I have a limited number of envelopes and catalogs that I can send out immediately. So I'm going to try to prioritize those of you that are the most committed. But if I am your consultant and you don't get something in the near future and you would really like a catalog or whatever, feel free to reach out to me and I will order some more and do a round 2 if necessary. So I hope that you guys have an amazing day. Definitely try these scents. There's not a single one here where I would tell you this is a bad choice. Just know what you're getting into with Barefoot Beach and have a great day, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.